All right. Good morning on, I think what is now day 8, which I am now hiking what should have been day 7. It's around 7 a.m. and whew, the night was rough. I was cold all night long. The only spot I was warm was where Wiggles was laying. We are currently on Gadwah Notch Trail and heading south. I got about a 10.5 mile day. First up is about a 1.5 mile down, and then about a 2.5 mile up, and then a really long down, and then a very slight up near the end. So this trail eventually turns into, I think it looks like on the map, it becomes an ATV trail at some point in time, or maybe a snowmobile trail, I don't know. It's like marked differently partway through on the map, so I think it's probably some kind of ATV or snowmobile trail at some point. Okay, a little bit up here, I forgot about that. But yeah, I was so cold last night. The hanging your hammock from vertical, from the rafters in the hut, makes it a really bad hang where you're kind of laying it in an L shape or V shape, and it makes it really difficult to get your underquilt snugged up. Well, I don't know, maybe there's a way to do it, but I adjusted it like 2 different times and never could get it where it was like really doing its job. So my whole backside was cold all night, and I just kept shivering. The only time I was finally warm was after I got up, and I was sitting to have my coffee, and had a Lenny and Kenny's cookie bar this morning, and I sat there on the milk crate that was in the hut, which was a godsend to have, and I wrapped up in my quilt while I was there, and I was finally warm. And then of course I had to get cold again because I had to take my sleep clothes off. I had to put my cold, very wet clothes on so I could pack up. So right now my feet are freezing cold again because now they're in my cold wet socks and my soaking wet shoes. And I can't feel them, which is probably a good thing because they hurt all last night. So not feeling them is okay. This trail seems pretty good so far. We shall see as it goes by. Oh, let's stoop lower to get my pack under. Where do we go from here? Oh, can we go around it that way, maybe? Or maybe not. Let's see. All right. I think I know the way we're gonna go. come on over, Wiggles. Oh, here, let me lift you. Let me lift you. Whoa. And then we're going to go this way, and we're going to go over that. Up and over. Up. There you go, good boy. And back to the trail. This way. All right, well, now that that's maneuvered, I think I've rambled on about all I need to this morning. Yeah. I know I'm a day short of food now, but I think I've got plenty of snacks. And although Wiggles is finally eating, he's still not eating what I expected him to eat, so I think we'll be good. I'm not too worried about it. The only thing I'm concerned about is I'm not going to have a coffee for one morning until I get to my next food cache. And if that's my biggest concern, then I'm fine. Yeah, alrighty. We'll close this off for now and catch you later. It is 9:45. I am 2.3 miles in. I'm almost halfway through the climb. So the climb, my down stopped at 1.2, and then the climb started obviously there at 1.2, and I had to stop at 1.4 because that first 2 tenths was so steep, and I was like, woo, knackered. So I stopped at 1.4 for a break, and now I'm at 2.3. So I did at least 9 tenths of the next part of the up without a break, and it's fairly easy going. It's not terribly steep or anything. So, but this was a good spot to take a break. Sitting. Wait a minute. There's the trail that I've come up, and then this is the trail here that I'm standing on, and it's this nice little step here. So I'm sitting down there. Wiggles has just eaten all the food I gave him, and now I'll have to give him some more food. And where did my little, oh, my pad stuck to the Velcro stuck to me. There, I was sitting right there. So I can sit with my feet down lower, which is always nice for getting back up again. And then that's the trail further on. So I'm going to have a street taco with the rest of the Nutella from yesterday that I didn't eat, and then we'll get moving again. Lordy, they built a set of steps out here in the middle of nowhere. Come on, Leos, let's go. I'm not sure you can go up the steps. I'm not sure I want to go up the steps. They're looking pretty. Oh, look at you go up them. Oh, good boy. Oh. Okay. Over. Yep. So the break was nice. I walked off and left my hiking sticks. So I had to turn around and go back. I mean, I have only gotten like 15 feet, but I was like, oh my word, my sticks. All right, let's continue on the trail. I might possibly be on the part of the trail that was marked differently on the map. This looks like it could be a snowmobile trail. So, nice and wide. There'll still be plenty of boggy areas, I'm sure. Hopefully no major blowdowns. I mean, I don't know if this is a snowmobile trail, but it's certainly wide enough to look like one. And I just don't know at what point, mile-wise on the map, the trail turned into a different sort of line that indicated more than just a path in the woods. So I have to assume I've reached that. I gotta wash my footing in the grass, so I'll turn this off. Isn't that a beautiful little piece of trail? That's just lovely. Okay, so do the moose walk on the bog bridges, or do they just poop on them? It's really opened up here. Sorry if I'm turning too fast. Wiggles is pulling me. 3.88 miles in, and I just stopped, not because I needed a break, because this has been easy hiking. I mean, I'm not going fast, but it's been semi-easy hiking. But I don't know if you can see that little kind of dirty water down there, but there's water here, and I thought, oh man, I'm in the sun for a while, I think, because that's where I just came from. Oops. That's where I just came from, and that's where I'm going. And the sun's on my back, kind of. So I took the opportunity to rinse my socks, and there they are, drying for just a bit. I mean, obviously not gonna dry a whole lot, but get them. Can I see? Why can I never see? Oh, there we go. All right, so there's my socks, and then my Njinjis are up in the bush, balsa tree. They're up in a balsa. Actually, my socks are on a balsa as well. Little baby balsas. So,
We're just gonna sit here for a minute before putting my pack back on. A pretty spot. I'm in the shade, but the trail is all in the sun. So, okay, done with Gadwah Trail. I'm 6.3 miles in this 10.5 mile day, and I'm stopped for lunch. I stopped at 1:06. It's been a few minutes since then because I gathered stuff from my backpack over there to bring over to this rock over here. Oh. So I got my lunch and stuff I'm gonna make. And there's the rest of the creek. And Boyles is here on his pad. And then I am currently, whoops, soaking my feet. Oh, this is cold, 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 and it feels so good. And so my socks that I had sort of kind of rinsed out in that dirty water are mostly dry, not completely dry, but I will put those on and then rinse the ones I had on really well in here so that they can be dry for tomorrow's hike. So, yeah, I've just got, this feels good. The Luco tape on that blister was coming off, completely shot anyway. So I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to do about that because I don't have any Luco tape left. Yeah, that's looking lovely. I need to get that cleaned before I go anywhere right now. My right foot doesn't look any better. So I just left the lunch break at the brook there. It was a long one, an hour and 30 minutes, but I needed to clean all the blisters on my feet and try to get them covered again, although I only brought a couple of feet of Luco tape, you know, like maybe 2 feet, because I really didn't think I needed it. As I said before, I've never gotten blisters with trail runners, so this is the first. But I think there's a lot of different reasons for it, that it's a combination of things. Number one, I'm hiking every single day with my feet in mud and water most of the day. I mean, my feet aren't dry. Ooh, a little tiny black snake. My feet aren't dry at all, except when I'm in bed at night. And then they semi-dry out, but they're still looking kind of pruny in the morning. Anyway, number two, the snowmobile trails like Tumbledick Mountain and a couple of the others are really bad in the sense that they're, yeah, they're muddy and all that, but on top of all that, you have these huge moose prints, and you can't see them because it's so overgrown with ferns and grass and everything else. You can't see the ground at all that you're walking on, and you end up stepping in one of those moose prints, and you sort of quickly adjust your foot to try to stop you from falling, and that sliding action in your shoe as you put pressure on different parts of your feet to try to keep your balance, with your feet all wet. I think that's the other issue. The third issue is these new trail runners. I switched out the laces with those elastic cord things, and I think that probably was not a good idea. Now, I wasn't sure about them. They felt comfortable when I just kind of walked around a bit with them on. They felt good. But the problem is, because your
you know, rolling your feet so much on these trails and stopping yourself from falling and doing all that. The bungee things are just not strong enough. They're like, it keeps letting your shoe get all loosey-goosey. And I think that's a problem. So a combination of those three, I think, is what's caused these horrible blisters. And, but I did have some waterproof Band-Aids that are sort of like diamond shaped. I don't know if that makes sense. They're actually really pretty good. I've used them before on my hand when I've like putting a gouge on my hand, and you know, I gotta wash dishes all the time and stuff like that. So you know, they last a couple days in that sense. Now they're obviously not going to last hardly at all in these shoes with these trails, but what I did have with me is an entire roll of vet wrap for the dog in case he got hurt. And so so I've wrapped my 2 Insteps. I've put one of those waterproof bandages on each one, and then I've wrapped my Instep in vet wrap to keep that bandage hopefully in place. I obviously also, oh crab mud, like I'm trying not to get my feet wet right now, but there's no avoiding it. Anyway, I'm hoping that vet wrap keeps the bandages in place at least. I also put triple antibiotic ointment on both of them because the one looks really yucky. And then on the 2 blisters on the sides of my heel, they're not really blisters, they're like really bad calluses that actually hurt. Well, one has kind of blistered now. I put moleskin on both of those, and those are probably not going to stay at all. Not even through today, but at least it'll get me through today. And yeah, anyway, it's going to be a few days still before I'm anywhere near any kind of store where I could maybe pick up some. I know I'm not going to be able to get Leukotape anywhere because you can't buy that anywhere. You have to order it online. At least I've never seen it anywhere to buy. But I'm hoping maybe I can get some KT tape. I doubt that either. But I'm just thinking maybe the store in Jefferson might carry it because hikers go through there. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping. But anyway, so yeah, an hour and a half lunch break. Oh, I also, like I said I was going to do, I put on the socks that I'd rinsed this morning that were mostly dry. I didn't do a really good rinse job on those because it was that muddy water, but it's better than nothing. And they were mostly dry, so I put those on. And then the socks I had been wearing today, I rinsed really well in that creek, brook, whatever. They were still wringing out sort of dirty water, but not too bad. And I wasn't going to spend forever doing that because I could have spent forever. And I think really the only way to get it all out is use soap, and obviously I'm not going to do that in the creek. That's a pretty area. All the moss covered rocks and stuff. All right, I'm going to shut this off. Oh, look at the big boulder there. I'm going to shut this off and get hiking. I think we're on the East Side Trail now. So last night when I had that soup and tuna packet, it really hit the spot. It was so good. You know, I think I had said I wanted something warm, but I didn't want to make the pizza. And but it reminded me that, so that was the Naked brand. And at Panorama Shelter, I had a Naked brand soup, which was, I don't remember which flavor that one was, but I had it with tuna, or sorry, pink salmon. And so there was a guy that was at the shelter that didn't get there until later, like, I don't know, 8, yeah, probably around 8 p.m. And the first thing he did was boiled some water and made a little, because he actually said, he goes, first thing I got to do is have my soup. And the way he said it, have my soup, like it's something he does every day when he's hiking, is when he gets to where he's staying for the night, first thing he does is have a cup of soup. And he just had one of those, like, Lipton soup mixes, which I think is more like, I don't know, like just liquid, nothing in it, which is fine. I mean, and I said, oh yeah, I said, that's what I had for dinner tonight is, I had one of the Naked brand soups and with salmon. And I said, but I'm not able to get that brand anymore. Walmart stopped carrying it. And he goes, oh, Walmart. He goes, I hate them. He goes, they have single-handedly destroyed the world. I thought that was a bit hyperbolic, but anyway. So I was thinking about it today, and I thought, man, I know some people have to have something to hate. They have to have some corporation or person or thing or place or whatever that they just have a passionate hate for. And I really don't understand it, because hate is energy, right? I mean, it requires energy to feel that, to deal with that, whatever. I mean, it certainly requires beyond that because he said, I've never been in a Walmart in my life. And that requires, dedication, of course, but it also requires a lot of inconvenience for yourself. And, if that's what you're into, fine and dandy. I don't judge that. But the hate part is like, honestly, there's better things in this world than trying to just hate on something. I mean, I don't even hate my ex-husband despite all the damage he did, because I'm not going to expel that energy on him. That's what it comes down to. I'm just not going to expel any thought on him at all. And hate is thought, and so yeah, just avoid it. But anyway, yeah, so I'm not sure. To each their own. I just can't be bothered hating anything that much. And this is a pretty little stream. Oops. I'm not doing what I wanted to do here. Anyway, but going back to the Naked soups, they're kind of like one thing I was going to say is I think it's kind of smart to drink like something like that as soon as you get into camp. I am guessing maybe he doesn't drink any kind of electrolyte during the day, which is perfectly fine, but you got to replenish that salt somehow. And of course, any of those cup of soup things are certainly fairly salty, so they would do it. You could do the same thing with bouillon or bone broth, or chicken bouillon, beef bouillon, vegetable bouillon, whatever, or beef broth or chicken broth. You do the same kind of thing. I really like those Nakeds because I don't want to bring ramen because, number one, it's kind of bulky. Excuse me. Come on, let's move there, buddy. I mean, yeah, maybe lightweight, but it's kind of bulky. And but the Nakeds are kind of like the best of both worlds. It's a broth, but then it's got, bits of noodles in it and stuff. But the packaging is really small. Doesn't take up hardly any room. And you throw a salmon or tuna or chicken packet or whatever in it, and it's great like that. So I'm gonna have to find a source. Maybe I can order online. I'm sure I can. I'm annoyed that Walmart quit carrying them because they were only $1 a packet, which was awesome. I know ramen is cheaper, but like I said, ramen's bulky. I'd rather have those Naked soup packs.
Alrighty, shut this off. Almost to Nash Stream Road, walking along Nash Stream. Ooh, it'd be lovely to go swimming in that right now, but I just want to get to camp. Hi there. This is next day, and I'm going to film the closing for this day. So I got to the shelter at right at 6 p.m., which was kind of my goal. My original goal at the beginning of the day was 5 p.m., but I adjusted that as the day went by. And so I made it just a few minutes before 6. And there were 2 people there, 2 lovely women, Patty and Carrie. So nice to meet them. And sort of my whole idea of what was going to happen at the shelter completely changed, which was fine. I wasn't bothered by that in the least. I was looking forward to making my pizza. I was looking forward to, there was a good water source there. I was looking forward to sort of doing a sponge bath and sort of giving Wiggles a sponge bath and having time for things to dry out, like wash today's socks and get them drying, and I already had socks that were going to be dry by morning, so things like that. But it all sort of changed when I got there. They were already exhausted, and they were already close to getting ready to go to bed. So I didn't want to take up too much of their time, like being noisy or anything. So I set up my hammock, picked the wrong trees because the trees weren't far enough apart from my tarp. So then I had to find different trees, found different trees, set my hammock up again, set my tarp up again, and then they were like, "Oh, you need to make dinner," and I'm like, "Well, I'm not even going to bother because I know you guys are tired. I want to get to bed." So, and they were set up in the shelter, and of course I wanted to leave all my gear in the shelter because it was supposed to rain that night. So I just had what was left from lunch. So I had 1 street taco with the rest of the chicken packet and mayo and the rest of the pretzel sticks, and that's all I had for dinner, and I was fine. So was in bed. They were in bed by probably 7:30, I think. I fiddled around getting a few things done, like charging some stuff and all that, and then I got to bed by 8:30 and slept pretty good. Was not a perfect hang because I forgot I had shortened the ridge line on the hammock because of how I had to hang it in Bald Head shelter, and I forgot about that. So I was kind of still in a little bit of a V, and I pondered after I got into bed, getting up and redoing that, getting that lengthening the ridge line for the hammock back out to what it should be. I just didn't bother. My feet hurt so bad, and I was just, ugh. But anyway, whoops. Yeah, so that was the rest of the day, and it was a good day of hiking. The trails were all great. No complaints about any of that at all, and yeah, so a good day.